You might expect the cheapest car sold in the UK to be Malaysian, Japanese or even Chinese, but in fact it's actually French, sort of. This is the brand new Dacia Sandero. It's the second model to be introduced from Renault's budget sub-brand following the Duster, and it's a Fiesta-size hatchback with space for 5 that'll cost from just £5,995. First impressions are, well, rather impressive. The Sandero won't win any beauty contests, but it hasn't been beaten with the ugly stick either. The entry-level Access model comes only in white with black bumpers, but our top-spec Laureate model looks smart with its body-coloured bumpers and optional alloy wheels. If you prefer a more rugged look, there's a Sandero Stepway 2, which jacks up the suspension by 40mm, adds extra cladding and costs just £600 more than the equivalent Sandero. Climb inside, and the quality here is much higher than you might expect. Okay, so these materials aren't exactly soft touch, but they're hardly the scratchy hard plastics you might expect. The base model, well, that's not for the faint-hearted. It does without things like aircon, a stereo and electric windows. If you pay an extra 600 quid, you can move up to the mid-spec model, and that adds luxuries like a stereo and electric windows, or you can go for the top-spec model we've got here. Now that costs around £2,000 more than the base spec model, but of course you do get things like aircon, electric windows all round, and if you pay 250 quid more, you'll get a 7-inch sat-nav. For 600 quid more, you can have leather upholstery. In terms of space, well, it feels bigger than a Fiesta in the back, and there's actually 50 litres more room in the boot than the new Clio. Entry-level cars get a 1.2 litre petrol with 75 horsepower, and for the first time in a Dacia there's a diesel available. It's a 1.5 DCI with 90 horsepower and sub 100 grams per kilometre CO2 emissions, but I reckon we got the pick of the bunch right here. It's a 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, 0.9 litre. It's the same engine you'll find in the Clio, and it's really rather good. It pulls cleanly, it pulls strongly, and if you hold on to a gear, you even get a nice little 3-cylinder thrum, which just adds a little dash of excitement to the experience. As for how it drives with the steering, it's a little bit vague if I'm going to be honest, and the body roll, well, it's pronounced when you turn into a corner. But on the flip side, it is quite comfortable and refinement is surprisingly high. The best compliment I could pay this car? Well, it feels quite modern to drive. The Dacia Sandero might be the cheapest car you can buy in the UK, but it's far from the worst. Dacia sold 350,000 cars in Europe last year, and I think it's just beginning to tap the potential of this budget brand. In fact, I think potential owners of the Corsa, Clio and Fiesta might have to think twice before they spend a whole lot more money than they need to.